there. It is Tuesday, November 11th, and this is the afternoon shift. I'm Adam-llorens.
I'm maxx-fuller. I'm Maxwell, actually, because I got my glasses on.
Oh.
I'm Maxwell Fuller.
Yeah.
A.k.a. Neil deMax Tyson.
Yes, the great scientist.
The great
yes.
scientist,
Yes.
astrophysicist, and perpetual wet blanket as well. He's always trying to see if things are, this movie isn't scientifically accurate. I saw a video of him saying, Godzilla, could Godzilla really exist? I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. That's not why I'm going to the movies. I'm going to the movies to escape all of that.
Yeah.
But he's still a brilliant mind.
Stay out of this one.
Yeah, exactly. Just
NGT.
Right. Just drop some knowledge,
Yes.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. But I'm Neil deMax Tyson, a.k.a. Froey Fatone.
Oh, okay.
You know about Joey Fatone?
Backstreet Boys or NSYNC?
NSYNC.
NSYNC.
There you go.
Yeah,
Do you have a favorite boy band?
I do. Oh man, I guess the Backstreet Boys.
Sure. Why not?
I never want to hear you say I want it that way.
I always get them confused. Still to this day, I don't know which one is which.
Right.
Or which song is from
How about
which
Boyz II Men?
artist.
Boyz II Men's a boys
That
group,
counts.
right?
That counts.
It's a boy band. Yeah.
That kind of counts. Or what was the one that Bobby Brown was in? Not the New Kids on the Block, but
maybe it was the
it the
new.
New Kids?
I don't know. Yeah, there's somebody out there
don't
that
know.
knows this.
I know. Somebody's out
Yeah.
there screaming at their TV right now. What was that, Grace?
Yes. Oh no, Paul was saying
That
our.
was Paul.
Yes.
That was Paul. But he was saying that Lori Fisher's gonna get mad because I think she.
That's right.
Bobby Brown?
I see. Is she a boy band aficionado?
Yes, yeah. For those at home that don't know, Lori Fisher is one of our executive producers here at Fox 9 and a boy band aficionado. And so, Bobby Brown. I forgot which one.
I forgot the name of it.
Which one
it's
he's
gonna
in.
bother
but
me.
I think it is New Kids on the Block or something like that.
New Edition.
New Edition. Something with new.
We were close.
Something with
We were
new.
close.
Yes.
We were close.
Yes.
AKA Joey Fafrone.
Sure.
AKA the Brown Charlie Brown. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. AKA
Yeah.
a million other things.
Hey, we're getting into Charlie Brown season. The holidays.
Yeah.
It's a great pumpkin Charlie Brown. We just had that, and then Thanksgiving
Charlie
Brown, and then of
Brown.
course Christmas
Christmas
Charlie
Charlie
Brown.
Brown.
That's the
probably
one.
best one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the Thanksgiving one is legendary too, though. That's the football one, right?
Right.
Infamous football, right? Or is that just in the cartoon?
I think that's in the Christmas one.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I think so. Yeah.
Christmas one's got everything.
It's got everything. All the music, the Vince Guaraldi trio,
Yeah,
or something. I
right.
think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. The soundtrack beyond excellent. Beyond
Minnesota
excellent.
creation, by the way, Charlie Brown.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't. Charles Schultz. He was a Minnesota guy.
From
That's
there.
right.
Yeah,
That's
there's
right.
Snoopy statues all over St. Paul.
I gotta go look for that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why the Nickelodeon universe, the amusement park in the Mall of America, used to be called Camp Snoopy.
All clicking now.
Yes,
All clicking now. All
yes,
clicking.
yes,
Just like our show is going to be all clicking. Yeah. I mentioned it's November 11th. That's Veterans Day. We have a Vietnam veteran, a Minnesota native Vietnam veteran from the Marine Corps in studio with us coming up after this opening segment here. He'll be telling us all about his time in Vietnam and some of the things that he's up to right now. That should be a pretty interesting conversation.
Heck yeah.
The Northstar rail line. This is. Are you into the? Do you ride the Northstar rail line?
No,
Yeah.
I think that's only like a Anoka. I don't think that goes to my part of town.
Okay.
Necessarily, but it sounds like it's not going to anybody's part of town lately because it's shutting down some business here around Minnesota.
Yeah, the mayor of Anoka, he's not happy about this. He'll be giving his side of the story on our show. We'll be joined by him. K-pop. I don't know much about K-pop, but I know a lot of people love K-pop.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do like the dances.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You know, it's like it's a global sensation.
That's
Every
right.
country I've been to, pretty much, I see some type of K-pop store or merchandise or something. It's a phenomenon, unlike any other around the world right now. Just setting the world ablaze. And one of the preeminent K-pop groups, Cat's Eye, is coming to Minneapolis this weekend. So we figured, why not deep dive into all things K-pop? We're all aware of the phenomenon, but where did it start? How did it start?
That's right.
And why? And is it a part of this? What is it up with this kind of general uptick in interest, and not just Korean music, but Korean media in general?
That's right.
The movies, it's comic books and books as well. It's the K dramas. It's all over. Korean media has just become this global phenomenon. So we figured, why not dive deep into it and figure out how all of this started.
That's right. It'll be a nice lesson on K-pop, and that's all right here in the 3 o'clock hour. In the 4 o'clock hour, we were talking about great movie soundtracks. The Vince Guaraldi trio for A Charlie Brown Christmas. The Sound of Music, maybe the most iconic movie soundtrack, I don't know, maybe of all time. We were speaking of Christmas.
Sure.
My favorite things. These are a few of my favorite things. That comes from The Sound of Music. It's
I had no idea that.
Iconic
Until you
Christmas
said that
song.
yesterday. I had no idea about that.
100%. We'll be talking about The Sound of Music, which is celebrating 60 years this year. New hemp laws Fax Muller will be wanting to tune
Fax
into this
Muller,
one.
He'll be all eyes on this one. His ears are perked up. The antennas are, they're tuned in for the afternoon shift because randomly, at least it feels random to me as a part of this deal that might end the government shutdown. There could be some devastating news for hemp industry people, specifically like the hemp brewers and hemp makers around the Twin Cities.
Yeah, it kind of is a little kind of into the fine print.
Snuck in,
snuck in there.
Exactly.
So we'll be learning more about that, and then make camo your cause. This is a huge Fox initiative that we're having here for Veterans Day.
Right.
We spoke to one of the leaders of Make Camo Your Cause last week, so we'll be replaying that interview for everybody at home. That'll be fun. This is gonna be a great show.
Sure.
Everybody can give us a follow on Instagram. I know that
it's been a while.
That ratio is still
ratio's not great. I'm not loving it.
Yeah,
I'm not loving it.
Afternoon
shift _ Fox 9. Let's see where we're at right now.
Yeah, it's What is it? Yeah.
See, we have 234 followers. Thank you to all 233 of you, because I'm one of them.
Yes.
232 because you're one of them as well.
That's right. That's right.
But we're following 182. That's not good.
Maybe we need to start unfollowing.
I think we got to start unfollowing. Let's see who's
not recommending.
Hold on. Who's on? Ahmad Hicks. That guy. We don't need to follow that guy. Jesse Pierce. What does she know? She doesn't know anything about hockey. Mitchell Barnett. He's a terrible producer. Lauren Andrego. Lauren's list. Worst segment on the afternoon shift easily.
It's her birthday this weekend.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Lauren. We're unfollowing you.
That's your birthday.
Cara, Savage, Savage. What does that even mean?
Yes.
Who is that?
Well, listen, give us a follow, and we probably won't follow you back.
We're unfollowing all these people.
But we would appreciate the follow.
Dale the Guardian.
Let's get into some headlines here real quick here. Max, the funding over the SNAP program, this is a story we've been covering a lot here in the afternoon shift. It's headed to the Supreme Court. The White House is asking justices to keep full SNAP payments frozen despite lower court orders to restore them. 42 million Americans rely on this. This is it's gone now to the highest court in the land.
Yeah, and hopefully they can figure something out so people can get a definitive answer. Maybe people are just smarter than I am. I have no conceivable idea why, and I'm not even going to try to rack my brain too hard on why someone would want to freeze these SNAP payments that millions and millions and millions of people around the country rely on. I have no idea why, but hopefully this judge rules in favor of those 43 million people because they could use some help. That's right.
We'll see what the Supreme Court justices do with this case. We'll have more on that on the afternoon shift once it becomes settled. This other story, I got some feelings about this one. The Northern Lights could be visible in Minnesota over the next few days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little burnt out on the Northern Lights.
You think
story.
so?
Yeah.
You're done with it.
Every 4 months, I feel like the Northern Lights are visible.
You're thinking it's not that special anymore.
The blue moon, the harvest moon, I'm over it. I'm over all of it.
You're not into any of it.
No, because it happened. It's not rare. It always says it's rare. It's not rare. It happens every other month. There's the harvest moon or the red moon. It's out every other month. It's not rare. Just like the Northern Lights. This is the 5th time the Northern Lights have been visible this year. It's not rare anymore. Sorry.
I didn't expect you to call the Northern Lights fraudulent.
I'm not saying it's fraudulent. I'm just saying that it's just
overhyped.
We've done this story on this show before.
Right.
We have. This show started in April.
It's like Bath and Body Works. It's like our once in a year sale. That's not true. You have this sale every month.
Yes, and that's why the full waxing crescent moon is out tonight. It's like it'll be out in 2 weeks again. It will. I promise you, it will. Just stay tuned. You don't need to go out in the freezing cold temps tonight and watch the Northern Lights. They're going to be back in 3 months.
I feel like you can barely see them unless you live in the country. You can barely see them anyway.
Can't see them from my apartment.
I would love to see them. You definitely can't see them from my apartment.
No. So
you'll see some lights, but they're red and blue.
Right? Yeah. Well, yes. Mine are mostly for the hospital.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sorry to be a hater if you really love the Northern Lights.
I would love to see them. The pictures look beautiful, but it just seems like they're so hard to. You need perfect conditions, and only a select few people get those perfect conditions every time. We read about it,
right?
But then only it seems like 10, 12 people actually get to see it as advertised.
Yeah, and it happens every 3 months, so it's not rare. It'll come back. It's not once in a lifetime. It's once every 3 months. You get it 4 times a year. You can catch it one time. Sorry. It's It's Veterans Day. We have a Marine Corps Vietnam vet in studio coming up next with us. His name is Len Erickson. This is going to be a great conversation. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to him.
Yes, that'll be coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. Max, this is November 11th, the 11th day of the 11th month. It is Veterans Day in the United States.
Absolutely. And it's Veterans Day in our hearts every day.
Yes.
Not at the afternoon shift, but especially today.
That's right. That's right. Here to help us celebrate and commemorate Veterans Day is Len Erickson. Len was a Vietnam War Marine Corps veteran, a native and lifelong Minnesotan, and he joins us now. Mr. Erickson, thank you so much for joining the afternoon shift. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very good. Very well.
Thanks for coming on. Can you talk to us about your time in the Marines, why you decided to join the Marines, if that was even a decision at the time of the Vietnam War, and maybe just a little bit about the Marines to start off?
I often say that I actually joined the Marine Corps, and I'm glad I did, but I joined the Marine Corps by accident when I wanted to be a pilot. And when I went to the federal building to find a recruiter, the Air Force recruiter was out. There was a sign on his door that said, out to lunch, I'll be back at 1,300 hours. Well, I was college. I didn't know what 1,300 hours sounded like a long time to wait. So I walked on down the hall, and eventually I found a Marine Corps recruiter that was sitting there reading a magazine, and he looked up and looked at me, and he looked me up and down and looked back at the magazine, and I said, I'll show you.
Wow.
And I joined the Marine Corps.
Amazing.
Now, how long were you over in Vietnam for?
I was there for 12 months and 5 days. I got there in February 15th of 1968 during the Tet Offensive, and I left in February of 69 and during the 69 Tet Offensive. So.
We hear so much about the Vietnam War, and a lot of it gets, portrayed in movies and in books and in TV shows and whatnot. You were there. Can you tell us about your experiences in Vietnam in the late 60s? One of the most tumultuous times, really, during the 21st century.
Yeah, it was. I have to admit that I didn't know what was going on in the United States when I was there. I thought I was really doing something great for our country, and I had no idea that there were protests going on. That was kind of censored. I mean, nobody wanted us to know that while we were there. Yeah. So I was a bit surprised when I came home. I was with 1st Battalion, 7th Marines in Vietnam. We were about 20 or 25 miles away from Da Nang. It was our job to chase the NVA away because they kept trying to blow up the airfield in Da Nang, and it was our job to try to keep them away from it. So, so we were busy. We weren't really didn't really care what was going on.
Yeah.
Didn't really have time to think about what was going on. But speaking about what was going on back home, what was kind of like that reaction like for you getting back home and seeing how controversial the war was and how it had divided the whole country?
I've often said this, that I went through a lot of trauma in Vietnam. I was injured. I lost my hearing and I had a TBI, but that was a lot of trauma. But when I came home was probably the biggest trauma. When I was discharged and went to LAX to fly home, there were barricades going down the hallways, and the protesters were on one side and the people that were going in. And in order to fly, you had to wear a uniform, so they knew who the veterans were. And they were yelling at us and calling us baby killers and a whole bunch of other bad things. And they spit at us. I say they spit at us, not on us, because if they had spit on us, I would probably still be in jail in L.A. someplace. But no, it was horrible. And I got on a plane and I came back to Minnesota, and I was shocked to find a country of indifference. Nobody. I wasn't expecting a parade like my father got when he came home from World War II, but at least an acknowledgement that what I had done was nothing. And that was probably the biggest trauma that I had to deal with in the last 57 years.
Yeah. You talk about your time in Vietnam and the trauma that you saw there. Can you talk about, maybe without, if you feel comfortable, some of the images and just some of the lasting legacy, both bad and good? I mean, did you have any interactions with the Vietnamese people? What was that experience being there like?
You were in just awe almost all of the time. Only if you go through a village and you see the poverty and see the kids. I have a vision of we came through a village one morning on our way back from patrol, and I saw a little girl, probably about 6 or 7 years old, and a little boy that was probably 3 or 4 years old. And she was pulling a rat that was the size of a chihuahua out of their home, out of their house, their shed. And he was beating it with a stick, trying to kill it. And that stuck with me because I just thought, I grew up in in comparison to that, I grew up in had an incredible life.
Sure.
And that just, it's been 57 years. That stuck with me. Yeah. I saw my fair share of combat. I saw people die. That stays with you. It doesn't go away. So.
I can't even imagine what that was like. And again, just kind of talking about the war and how divided it made people, how opinionated people were about it. What do you think is like some common misconceptions about what was going on there and people who served in the Vietnamese War?
Well, I think it was what their intentions were. We thought we were defending our country, and our country didn't want to be defended at the time, evidently. But I think that was, we had different intentions than what people thought we had. We weren't there just to kill people, and we were there for a purpose, and I don't think people understood it in the States.
So you come back home from Vietnam, you meet your wife, Bonnie, shortly thereafter. That, can you talk about, you met her right as soon as you came home. Can you talk about meeting her and what that experience was like? One of the more positive things when you got back to the United States.
Yeah, she chased me for a long time. No, she didn't. I made that up. No, we met shortly after I came home. I actually got to Minnesota in the first part of March, and I think we had our first date on April 27th of 1969. And we got married the following January. So it just seemed like what you should do. You went to school, you went into the Marine Corps, and you came home. That was the next thing you do, was get married. And I'm glad I did. That was almost 56 years ago. So.
Wow. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you passed the test. She gave you the nod when he said 56. she gave you the nod, so you passed the test. Good memory there. Now, Len, obviously we have you here because of Veterans Day. Veterans Day means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. What does it mean to you?
It's very important. It's a day that veterans deserve the recognition. I just feel like it should be more than one day. It really should, because there's so many veterans out there that haven't been welcomed home. And I just think that it's so important to recognize them. I got involved in the organization that I'm involved with because of when I came home, I threw away all my uniforms, everything that I had that reminded me of Vietnam, because nobody wanted to know about it anyhow, and I just got rid of it and didn't even talk about Vietnam for a long time. And when I got involved with Tee It Up for the Troops, it was so exciting because I realized that people were actually recognizing veterans again. I didn't realize that, and to recognize veterans and to do it by the way they do it is sponsor golf tournaments, and so golf and veterans were, next to my family, the two most important things in my life. So it was.
Yeah, I do definitely want to get into Tee It Up for the Troops. I do want to also ask you, being a Marine Corps, that's at least in my eyes, that's those are the toughest people in the military. I mean, it takes a special kind of person to be in the Marines. What does it mean? Because you're once a Marine, always a Marine. You are a Marine even today. I mean, what does that mean to you? I mean, I have a cousin that's a Marine. And I know how much that that means to him, and it's tough to be in that. So what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I never regretted joining the Marine Corps. I truly didn't. It's a lot of pride. There's a brotherhood there that is absolutely incredible. It's Semper Fidelis. It's always faithful, and every Marine you see, every time I wear something that has a Marine Corps emblem on it, somebody will walk up to me and say Semper Fi, and we know what that means. I have all the pride in the world. I never regretted joining the Marine Corps. So.
Can you still pass the swim test? No, probably not. No.
He's
thinking about it.
Right. He's like, I still got it.
Still got it.
I still got it in me. Oh yeah. I don't want to sit you down on a therapy couch or anything like that, but I do want to go back to that comment just a second ago when you were saying that you threw all your stuff away after you got home. When were you able to kind of reconcile with that and able to kind of, because now obviously you're brimming with the pride that you're in the Marine Corps and in your service, but obviously that must have taken a while after coming home, right? When did you eventually, were you able to reconcile with that?
I think it was a good 40 years. When the war in Iraq started and they started talking about different veterans, because that was pretty much the only war after Vietnam, and when people started talking about veterans and welcoming them home, and when they were going over as a group of, say, National Guard people, and they all came home as a group. When we went to Vietnam, we went over as individuals. We got into a plane and they flew us to Da Nang, and everybody dissipated. In Iraq, they went over as a group, as a battalion, and came home as that same battalion. So there was a lot more. It was easier to recognize a large group like that, but it did really excite me. It made me happy to see that people were recognizing veterans again. So, and I think that's when I kind of came out.
I hear you. And for 40 years after the fact, that's a long time. And we're just happy that you're here with us and that you sharing the story. You talked about Tee It Up for the Troops. Can you tell us more about that organization? It specifically is supporting veterans here in the state of Minnesota. Can you talk more about it?
It actually, it's a national organization.
My apologies.
It was founded in Minnesota.
That's right.
It was founded in 2005, and J.B. Ball was the father of an Iraq veteran, and he had written a letter to his son asking him if there was anything that he needed, and his son said, "We're fine. We're taken care of here. What I'm concerned about is the veterans that are coming home." And when I found that out, I thought, they need it. They sponsor golf tournaments all over the United States, and the proceeds from the golf tournaments go to nonprofit organizations that support veterans in a number of different ways. I've tried to get involved in a number of those, along with Tee It Up for the Troops, and it's remarkable where that money goes. Since 2005, I think they've given away a little over $18 million. So,
wow.
It's a great organization. When I was introduced to it, I said that I was just enthralled because it was just so, to have two things that were that important in my life to be combined was really exciting. So.
Awesome. Aside from people getting out there on the green, how can they support Tee It Up for the Troops?
Oh, they take donations, believe me. You can go to teeitupforthetroops.org and see some of the things that it does. One of the organizations that I got involved in as a result of Tee It Up for the Troops was an organization in Nashville called Creative Vets. And what they do is they take a veteran and they have them tell their story, whether it was a story of combat or coming home or whatever, and they tell their story. And they have songwriters and they're not wannabe songwriters. There's some platinum record songwriters there, and they take that story and turn it into a song. It happened to me at Tee It Up for the Troop Reunion, and they I wrote a song that we all ended up recording it, and ended up it was recorded by Scotty Hastings, but it was called "Welcome Home," because that was the real eye awakener for me, was coming home, and it's been published. When they announced that they were going to record it, I was just enthralled. I had it on my phone and I was listening to it all the time, and I was sitting at a doctor's appointment with my wife, waiting for her, and I was sitting in the car, and the song came on, and I thought it was, I thought I'd pushed the wrong button on my phone, so I'm trying to shut it off, and I was banging on the steering wheel and everything, and realized that it was on the radio. And Scotty Hastings was on Fox News, and they were interviewing him, and they played the song, and they actually talked about the differences between me and Scotty being in two different wars, but going through the same thing, and the trauma of war, and so it was just, it was so therapeutic that I became a mentor for creative vets, and now I go help veterans tell their own stories so they can put it to music too. So it's
not just a Marine, also a published and award-winning songwriter here. Wow, superstar. We really appreciate you. We appreciate your service to our nation and to everybody here at home. And I know when you came back and you got on that plane at LAX, and it wasn't exactly the welcome you wanted there, and hasn't been the welcome you expected. But we hope that today you're feeling the love and support, and you certainly have our love and support here on the afternoon shift. So we appreciate you.
Well, I do, and the only thing I would like to say is that the November 11th is Veterans Day, and everybody recognizes veterans, but November 12th is another day. If you see a veteran or I can identify with a veteran, talk to him, thank him, do whatever you can, buy him a cup of coffee. I don't need coffee, but just recognize them all the time. There's 22 veterans a day that commit suicide, and you never know whether just walking up and saying hello to them or anything, reaching out to them might have saved one of them. So that's a strong thing that I believe.
Well said.
Thanks for sharing your story with us, Len. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Len. Thanks.
Thank you.
And happy Veterans Day to you.
Thank you.
Yes. More to come from the afternoon shift after this. We are back here on the afternoon shift. The Northstar commuter rail. This is a big story locally here. It's shutting down.
Yeah, it's shutting down, and it's affecting lots of people around Minnesota, especially the people in Anoka.
That's right. Here to tell us more about it is the mayor of Anoka himself, Eric Skogquist. Mr. Mayor, welcome to the afternoon shift. How are you?
I'm doing well today. Thanks for having me on today.
Thanks for joining us. Hey, for those that aren't up to date with this story, can you give us a brief synopsis of how we got here? What's the Northstar Rail all about, and why is it so important to Anoka?
Yeah, so the Northstar Rail is a commuter rail. It's part of our large mass transit system in the Twin Cities. Commuter rail is a little different than light rail. It runs on existing train tracks that have been running through the town that freight trains and everything else run on. But it was created back in the late 2000s. As a solution for commuters that would come in from the Northwest Metro. It was originally envisioned to go from Target Field all the way up to Rice, just north of north of St. Cloud. But for lots of different reasons, it didn't quite do that and stopped in Big Lake. And so that's been operating since about 2009, I believe. Station stops have been placed along the stretch: Fridley, Coon Rapids, Anoka, Ramsey, Elk River, and Big Lake. And a lot of the cities along those areas have worked hand in hand with our counties, the Metropolitan Council, the state over the years to kind of work on getting those sites secured for those station stops and parking lots, as well as a lot of redevelopment has started to occur along those areas, which is kind of the pattern for rail over the years. And so the cities along those lines are all at various stages of redevelopment and ownership of some of the assets and the land in that area.
How will the rail shutting down affect, like how big of an impact is this going to affect or have on the people of Anoka?
Yeah, there's definitely a good group of people that utilize this, but the problems that it ran into really started, I would say, prior to COVID pandemic. If you don't have a service that's dependable, that's has lots of options for people to get to and from the Twin Cities, they get less users. And that's really what started to happen even prior to COVID, when Anoka County and Metropolitan Council that operated started getting sort of in arguments about a few things. And the COVID pandemic just kind of sped that up because people weren't commuting to the cities. And so a lot of those rides never got restored. The amount of trains going to and from never really went back to where it was. And so it was this vicious cycle where less people would ride it because it wasn't convenient for them. But there is a core group of people that do utilize this. And as more people start working back downtowns again, there's more and more people utilizing this service. And right as that's occurring and more people are going into downtowns, this is the rug sort of getting pulled out from cities like us and everybody else points north and south.
Mr. Mayor, how much has your city invested into the Northstar rail service? I would assume there's stations in the city, but it's probably other infrastructure as well, right?
Yeah, so for us, I mean, the station was built with other funds outside the city. However, the city of Anoka, we actually have a parking ramp in that area as part of a larger redevelopment. So there's been over $10 million that went into building that ramp. $2 million of which was city funds, and the rest were various grants from, local, state, federal levels to put that ramp in there. And so we have this ramp in this area that is not really fully developed yet. And so one of our concerns from the city here has been, that big investment that the taxpayers made, not only in the infrastructure of the physical platform, but this ramp. Now they're not going to have as much use as they could have. And some of the concerns we had was if those get removed, there really was never a clean line between the platforms, the ramps, the parking areas. And so right now, the elevator that services that place is on Burlington Northern's property as well as city's property. And so if you're going to just tear it out, who's gonna replace that tower to make that ramp ADA accessible again? As well as some of those funds that we use to build that ramp or federal funds. And we want to make sure that we're not going to be stuck holding back for millions of dollars of repayment because Metropolitan Council's decision to basically renege on the decision that they put forward, less than 20 years ago. I mean, sports stadiums last longer than this before they're wanting to rip it out, which to me is just mind-boggling why they would do this.
So is this decision absolutely final, like 100%, or is there anything that can be done to kind of reverse it or scale it back at least?
It's looking pretty bleak at this point, and the Metropolitan Council is talking about ending the Northstar service in November. It should be January after the last Vikings game. So it's pretty tough, but I really urge anybody that's out there to think about this, because there's a lot of things. There's not only just the service right now, but maybe there's other things. If we don't rip the infrastructure out right away, maybe different mines and different times could utilize that for other services. One thing we're looking at is other Amtrak or intra-city rail services like the Borealis maybe could use these infrastructure pieces. But trying to just rip it all out and saying we're done, we did this experiment and we're going to throw hundreds of millions of dollars down the drain just seems ridiculous to me.
You said January after the last Vikings game. Don't you mean February?
Well, they said January, so I got to take it about the Vikings. But I don't know. They maybe know something I don't know.
Maybe they do know something that you don't know. Yeah, Mr. Mayor, listen, we've covered on this show the expansion of the light rail service. I guess I'm just confused. Why can't we have expansion for both? Because it does seem like the light rail service expansion is coming. Why do you think it's different for the Northstar?
That's a great question. I read the same things you do. You have over $3 billion of investment in a new light rail service down towards Eden Prairie. At the same time, they're yanking this service away from the Northwest Metro. So I don't know the reasonings for it. I think they never really put their head fully into trying different things and looking at different options to get more ridership. But I'll be honest, I'm really frustrated because when we were having these discussions even a couple of years ago, when people wanted to pack those trains for sporting events and they were always full, by the time you got to Anoka, you'd barely have a seat on that train. They would cut those services. So to me, it looked like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I don't know why, but I don't think it's really fair to this area that invested lots in this infrastructure, not only in the actual platforms and the rail, but in redevelopment areas around. And to me, it's really baffling why you would do one service and not the other, because really you need to look at it as a comprehensive mass transit system in the metro. And I just think the Metropolitan Council has trouble with anything other than a bus.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's hope that there's a solution out there in the near future for the good people of Anoka, and everybody can win. To end on a lighter note, I know Anoka is the Halloween capital of the world. What do you guys got going on for the holidays?
Yeah, so we do a lot of Halloween in Anoka. It's great, but we got to recover a little bit. And now coming up, we have a tree lighting ceremony in early December where we get 10,000 people that'll show up at City Hall Plaza where we do the tree lighting. I give a little speech, flip the switch on. We have Santa, we have carriage rides, we have the whole shebang. So that's coming up soon in early December. Check the City of Anoka website for details on times and events. But I had one person joke with me and said, "It's not fair that you're the Halloween capital and now you want to do Christmas." I said, "Well, watch out. We're coming with a groundhog in February."
A groundhog and a Lombardi trophy in February, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Also a social district in Anoka. You can have it's open carry. It's like Bourbon Street.
Oh,
down there.
sweet.
Yeah. Sure it is. Yeah, sure is. Mayor Eric Skogquist, we appreciate you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much. Keep us updated on this Northstar situation.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Man, being a mayor is tough. That's tough work.
Yeah,
you gotta
sure.
You're dealing with
all types of stuff, city councils and state councils.
And even stuff that's not in your city affects your city, like
right.
this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's hard work being the mayor.
Yeah, right. You're going to be the mayor of Minneapolis one day.
I don't know about all that. I don't think the people would vote for me.
What?
I don't know.
Great choice.
I don't know if the people would vote for me. Maybe. I have to put a little suit and tie on. I have to button it up a little bit. I don't think I can dress like this if I'm the mayor. But but I think with the glasses, I think I got a little bit of a mayoral look on me.
Yeah. Eric agrees. He's watching there. He's smiling. He knows.
He's got my back.
Yeah,
he's got my back. Appreciate you, Mayor.
You got the back of the K-pop community. You're into this.
Sure.
You're into K-pop.
Sure. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't put my name on the K-pop community.
Sorry.
Listen, I like music of all kinds. I wouldn't say I'm like a diehard. See, because that's one of those things where you say you're into that.
Right.
That's a whole different level.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like some
yeah.
people are like, hey, I play Super Smash Brothers. And other people are like, I play Super Smash Brothers, So like I dabble. I got a couple little K-pop, tidbits on the playlist here and there, but I'm a novice.
Perfect. Well, we got an expert coming on.
Oh.
His name is Toby Vang.
Hey.
He is the president of the Minnesota K-pop Connect group.
Oh wow.
He'll be joining us because there's this big K-pop group, Cat's Eye. They're coming to the Armory on Saturday night.
Yeah, they've got a reality show. They've got all-time millions and millions of views on their videos and songs on Spotify and YouTube and everywhere else. So I'm super excited to hear about Cat's Eye and this K-pop phenomenon at large. All of that and more coming up next on the afternoon shift.
Welcome back to the afternoon shift. Cat's Eye. They're coming to the Armory on Saturday night.
Yeah, they're a K-pop phenomenon. Our very own Paul-Millgate. He watched a reality show with them, and he said he was enthralled, gripped, captured. Said it was the best reality show he's ever seen in his entire life.
Wow,
he literally said that.
That means a lot coming from Paul.
It does. Yeah. He's a reality show aficionado. But K-pop in general is just setting the world on fire, man. And it just keeps. It is the force that just keeps on going and growing.
Yeah, and it's growing here in the land of 10,000 lakes. We have the president for MN K-Pop Connect. His name is Toby Vang. Toby, welcome to the afternoon shift. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me here today, guys.
Thanks for joining us. Can you tell us? I'm a novice when it comes to K-pop. Max says he's a novice too. What exactly is K-pop? I'm going to repeat that question. I think we had a little technical difficulty there.
Did.
There was some suspense there.
Yeah.
There was some suspense.
The drama.
My connection cut out there. Could you say that again?
We got you now, Toby. What exactly is K-pop?
Like, how would you define K-pop as compared to other genres or other even versions of pop?
Yeah, of course. So K-pop is short for Korean pop music, and it's a blend of choreography, storytelling, and it combines a lot of elements from pop, hip hop, R&B, and even EDM. And so it just mashes into this one distinct a sound with Korean influence. And so it's known for its synchronized dancing and strong visuals. And right now, as you guys were saying, it's more than a genre. You know, we're seeing a cultural movement with this global reach, and movies like K-pop Demon Hunters have helped expand the awareness and mainstream appeal. And so there's a lot of good messages in K-pop. It represents a lot of creativity and freedom. And so it's no secret that K-pop is here to stay.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm curious. We all know it's here to stay now. But at this point, like, where did this trend start? I don't know if you can pinpoint an exact kind of moment, but how did K-pop start catching fire globally? Because I know it's been a thing since at least the '90s in Korea, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's been around for, I want to say, 20 or 30 years. And I don't believe it really gained mainstream until about 2016, 2017. That's when we started to see groups like Twice, who's actually coming here in April. As a Minnesota native, I'm sure you guys remember when BTS was playing on KDWB. And so this helped start the movement of K-pop as we see, you know, globally, and just them touring and all of the music playing, you know, that's how it got globally recognized.
Toby, would you say, is there a rising interest in Korean media here in the United States? Has K-pop sort of been the welcome mat towards a lot of other cultural influences that Korea's brought to the U.S.?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, even shows like Squid Game, coming from South Korea. I mean, there's so much of this influence coming to the States, and people, you know, they're looking for new things and ways to express different cultures. And so it's amazing to see, you know, with all this influence that we're really living in it.
Just how big is K-pop? Like, I don't know if you have any like statistics or numbers, or just kind of like a story to tell just about just how big is K-pop? Because I'm seeing some of these guys, BTS, Black. I've seen action figures of them. I mean, it's obviously huge, but just how big is it globally?
I mean, right now we're seeing a huge shift. Obviously, going back to K-pop Demon Hunters, but big. K-pop becoming bigger is it's becoming really big because of I mean, these people, you know, growing up with the music, they want to see their favorite artists live. And so for example, G-Dragon, who is from Big Bang, he just sold out 80,000 seats in a stadium in Taipei. And so right now what we're seeing is just this amazing movement of K-pop because you know, all these other countries, especially Asia or bigger cities here, they have a lot of population there. And so they want to see these artists. And, you know, we're just seeing this great appeal of K-pop here around the globe.
Such a large part of K-pop is dancing and the choreography. How would you describe or explain K-pop choreography? Because it is different than, you know, what people might think of as like hip-hop dancing. It's kind of its own thing. How would you describe it?
Absolutely. K-pop choreography is very intricate, and they blend a lot of different styles, such as contemporary, hip-hop, you know, freestyle. And the way they do it is they focus a lot on synchronization and just the appeal of it. And so many different songs have different meanings or feelings in them. So, for example, a ballad will be very graceful, or an up-tempo song will have very powerful movements. So what we're seeing is kind of this resurgence of boy band, kind of girl groups, you know, expressing themselves and the meaning in the music through K-pop.
Toby, Cat's Eye, they're coming to the Armory on Saturday night. For those that might be on the fence, they're thinking about going, and the concert may be sold out for all I know. What should we expect at the Armory on Saturday night? It looks like it is sold out.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is sold out. I've still got some people looking for tickets, but I mean, Cat's Eye is a huge deal. It represents a new era of K-pop for us, and it's basically the global evolution. You know, they're a very diverse group, and they have a Netflix documentary. And so Cat's Eye alone is proof that K-pop is no longer limited by language barriers. And so Cat's Eye is going to be absolutely packed on Saturday, and their music is catchy. You know, they've got good meaning behind it. So I would encourage anybody, if you have the opportunity, to go see Cat's Eye this Saturday.
I'm sure some of your cohorts at MNK Pop Connect will be there as well. What exactly is MNK Pop Connect?
Yeah, of course. So MNK Pop Connect, Minnesota K-Pop Connect, we're Minnesota's leading K-pop organization, and we host themed events. We bring in idol groups and performers, and just this year we hosted the first statewide K-pop minicon at the St. Paul River Center. And so we had the opportunity to visit bigger events such as KCON in LA and other concerts, and we wanted to bring that energy here locally to the Midwest. And so our mission is to connect the community and the culture through the shared passion and love of K-pop.
I'm very intrigued by this. It sounds like more than a concert on Saturday night with Cats. It sounds like a whole like experience, you know, like people going not just for the music, but just for the camaraderie of being around other people like this.
Yeah, absolutely. It is kind of like a culture.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say? It's like a brotherhood, a clique, a group.
Yeah, of course. I mean, K-pop fans are some of the most heartfelt and endearing fans that we've ever had the experience and pleasure of working with. You know, people stand outside for hours, and there are fans giving each other free gifts and water. And so, I mean, even just there's a concert on Saturday, but it's truly an experience unlike no other.
I love it. I love it. Toby Vang, the president of Minnesota K-Pop Connect. Toby, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. And you'll be at the concert on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. I'm selling tickets outside of the concert. I'm selling tickets. I got a couple free ones.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just in my pocket. I'm just handing them out to people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not selling them.
Right.
I'm just handing them out to people.
Yes. Yeah. It should be quite the scene outside the Armory. So,
I mean, the Armory is probably going to be packed to the gills, man.
Yes.
It's going to be a sight to be seen for sure.
Yes.
I would love to go to one of these. I don't even know Cat's Eye. I'd love to go just to see the choreography and everything. Sounds like it'd be fun to see, even if you don't know the songs.
For sure. Like I said, it's all about it's a whole culture and everything, and it sounds very intriguing. Maybe I should open up my own music sort of club in Minnesota and see if there's any interest.
A Beach Boys club.
Yeah,
Beach Boys cover band.
Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Would anybody join?
Beach Boys Connect.
Into that? Yeah. Beach Boys Connect. We could be cool. BBC.
Right.
Beach Boys Connect.
I don't know if you want to use that lettering because of the news channel, of course. Because of the news channel,
Frank
of course.
Sinatra Connect.
Rat Pack Connect.
Yeah, Rat Pack Connect. There might be an audience out there.
Who knows? I know, Grace, you grew up doing like dancing and stuff like that to these kind of songs, right?
I did. I was on a Korean dance troupe for years. I'm half Korean, for those of you who don't know. So it was a way for me to kind of tap into, my Korean heritage and, explore that. Because, I didn't grow up speaking Korean. I didn't grow up in Korea. So it was a way for me to explore that. And I remember being a little girl. So, I mean, K-pop's been around forever, and we would do K-pop dances, and no one was really talking about it. I have to be completely transparent. I am not the biggest K-pop fan, but there's such a community around it. There really is, and it's fun to dance to. It really is, and it is a specific type of choreography. I definitely am not very good at it, but it's
You still remember any of the moves?
I remember the traditional moves because we would
perform
at different festivals and stuff. So I could do that. I could not do any K-pop.
Bust out some moves, Grace.
I have to have props. I used to perform.
We got to see this.
I don't know, guys.
We got to have an afternoon shift talent show inspired by Lauren Andrego's talent show that she's going to be hosting.
Are you hosting a rival?
Yeah, I'm going to host my rival talent show. I'm stealing the idea.
Right.
That's what they say.
Right.
The most creative people, the best creatives steal. So I'm gonna steal from Lauren Andrego. We'll have an afternoon shift talent show.
Yeah.
We can connect with all of our former guests.
Sure.
Ask them if they have any hidden talents.
Yeah.
I'm doing all of this just to facilitate us seeing Grace do her traditional Korean dance.
Yeah, I mean,
what would your talent be?
Lynn Erickson will sing for us, the Vietnam vet, and then Grace will dance for us.
Yeah, and, we'll call the Supreme Court Justice Band.
Call them up.
They can come through.
Paul will bring a giraffe.
Yeah,
and we're all
I'm
good.
sure he'll do something zany. Tane Danger can come through.
Danger can
do some improv.
Yep.
Tony Lieber can start a fight. Tanner Morgan, maybe they can wrestle or something like that. Who knows?
When is this happening?
Yeah.
What day is this happening?
I don't know. Let's figure it out.
On a weekday?
Afternoon shift talent show. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. We are going to welcome in the 4 o'clock hour after this with our 4 p.m. recap. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. Max, it's been a full 3 p.m. hour. We've talked to a Vietnam vet. We talked to the mayor of Anoka.
Yeah.
We just talked about K-pop. We've got a full 4 o'clock hour coming up here.
Including your Fresh Tomatoes debut.
We'll see.
And in true Adam fashion, it is a movie that came out
60 years ago.
60 years ago.
6 years ago.
But you were passionate about it. I mean, I couldn't stop listening to you talk about it yesterday. You were so excited about it.
I hadn't seen The Sound of Music in forever. I'm really pumped to talk all about it. One of the Von Trapp children lives in Minnesota. I learned today. Marta, her name is Debbie Turner. That's the actress's name. Wow. She now lives in Minnesota. Bring Me the News. They did a nice little feature on her a couple years ago. So yeah, this is a great film. This is the type of film that you kind of just stop in your tracks and you watch when it's on TV.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen The Sound of Music?
I've never seen it. As much as I am, into movies and stuff like that, I have some huge blind spots. I've never seen The Sound of Music. I've obviously seen the iconic scene of her dancing around, frolicking around in front of the mountain and whatnot, and I've seen a little here and there, but I've never seen the movie, so I'm excited to hear it eloquently broken down by you.
Yes, yeah, I'm very excited to talk about it, and it's not just that. There's some new hemp laws in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking to one of the people from our friends at Indeed Brewing Company all about these THC beverages. And there's this fine print thing in the government shutdown. It might, the THC stuff might get affected by this shutdown deal.
It's very strange, and specifically the hemp stuff. And, and lots of people, hemp doesn't even necessarily have to be involved with like the consumption of THC. It's used to make lots of textiles like rope and clothes, and then a whole bunch of other things. So this is just going to have a widespread effect across the industry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this table is made of hemp.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Somebody was telling me that.
I would not doubt it. My afro is made of hemp. It's not real. Yeah, it's a wig. Yeah, it's absolutely a wig. It's a weave I wear every day.
It's a weave.
Yeah.
Is this part of your talent?
It is.
Yes.
Weaving. Yes. Putting a weave in. Sometimes you see me.
That's a lot of work. I think. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a whole lot of work.
Yeah.
Some weave.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Extensions, as some people call them. It's more of a cultural difference, but I think it's it's a lot of work having a weave. I wouldn't want a toupee, a weave, any of that. That's why I'm keeping the fro as long as possible, because that's maintenance, brother.
It's a lot of maintenance that goes into that. Same with my hair.
A lot of maintenance.
It's a little long right now. We are going to continue today's episode right after this with some Sound of Music talk. Don't go anywhere. The hills are alive with the sound of music.
Is that sounds like a horror movie?
That's the first words of the whole movie.
Really?
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
That sounds exactly like that.
Julie Andrews, commonly mistaken for her voice. No, listen, the Sound of Music, I had it on my DVR and I've been meaning to watch it. It's been several years since I've seen it.
Yeah.
It came out 60 years ago, back in 1965.
Wow.
And listen, I'm the biggest football fanatic out there. I love watching. I watch ball all day Saturday, all day Sunday. I found myself on Saturday night because Notre Dame, they were just blowing out Navy, blowing them out.
Right, you didn't even
Happy Veterans Day, Navy. I'm sorry. Saturday wasn't great. It's Happy Veterans Day today. Just blowing them out. And so I was like, I'm going to put on the Sound of Music. I'm like, I haven't watched this in a long time. I was captivated, and I watched the first hour. I was like, time to go to bed. And then I watched it after the Niners were getting blown out by the Rams on Sunday afternoon. I put it back on. What an excellent film. Two actors that we've all heard of, Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
Neither one of them won the Academy Award for The Sound of Music.
Really?
Julie Andrews came off of Mary Poppins, 1964, won Best Actress for that.
Wow.
Sound of Music came out in 1965. She was on the high of highs. Yeah. And then Christopher Plummer, one of the great actors of our time. Mm-hmm. Didn't realize Christopher Plummer was in Malcolm X. We were just talking about Spike Lee's Malcolm X.
Really?
He was in that film.
I did not realize that either.
He was in The Sound of Music as well, playing Captain Von Trapp. And the movie really kind of takes place in right before World War II Austria.
Okay.
The sort of the Nazi regime is sort of infiltrating in. And so there's these political undertones of it.
Yeah.
And then you have this lady, Julie Andrews' character, Maria. She really wants to be a nun, but the nuns there are like, you're not cut out to be a nun.
Oh.
So they send her to be essentially a babysitter at this house. And she stays, and there's 7 children. And one of the ways that she's able to win over the children is through music. And that is how she wins over Captain Von Trapp, this very, Austrian Navy veteran. And she's able to win his heart over via music as well. There's so many songs that have come out of this film, and you just like you don't realize how many. It's not just The Sound of Music.
Right.
How do you solve a problem like Maria? Have you?
I've heard that. I've heard that.
You've heard
before.
that song,
I've
right?
Heard that before.
We talked about these are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses. That's a Christmas song.
I had no idea.
Came from the movie Doe, a deer, a female deer.
Too.
Ray, a drop of golden sun.
I sang that in one of my elementary school concerts.
Well, finish it. They hear me, a name I call myself. Far, a long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, tea, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to Doe. See, it's all from the movie.
Exactly.
It's a great song. How about this one? How about this one? You are 16, going on 17. Yeah,
I've heard.
You've heard that song?
I feel like I've heard every single song.
How about this one is it's kind of a yodeling song.
Yeah.
She was a dumb and a lonely goat to yodel-de-day, hee-hoo.
Wow. That was an impressive yodel.
This one is definitely one you know.
Okay.
So long, farewell, Avita, say goodbye.
That
comes from The Sound of Music.
I had no idea.
And then maybe the most famous song from The Sound of Music, outside of obviously the name of the film, Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me.
I don't know if I've heard this one.
Edelweiss. It's
Edelweiss. That's the most famous one out of this movie.
I love it. I love it the most.
Wow.
I really think, and this is with all due respect to the country of Austria, that should really be the national anthem. But as we were talking about, I think yesterday when I was really raving about The Sound of Music, the Austrians didn't really love the film when it came out, and they kind of rejected it almost, right?
Yeah, it was not a popular thing. I don't even think it was shown there whatsoever. Like,
yes.
It was, they absolutely, I think because of the political undertones.
Yes.
Maybe some probably like, underhand, like ostensible, like, oh, it's not historically accurate, but that wasn't really why. That wasn't really why, because I think maybe they weren't portrayed in a light that they thought fit.
Yes, absolutely. Also, we need to get to the bottom of you singing Do Re Mi as a seventh grader.
That was a thing.
That was a thing
in elementary school. I think it was in my concert. I think
we need photos. We need videos.
I'm sure my mom or somebody has some.
If you're watching out there and you have Max at Eastview or whatever, what was the middle school?
I went to Oak Ridge Elementary School, Black Hawk Middle School, Eastview High School. So it would have been at Oak Ridge because I wasn't singing. I was in the band in middle school playing the tuba.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Well, we need tuba pictures too. But if you went to Oak Ridge and you have Max singing Do Re Mi from The Sound of Music, we definitely need that. And Max, this brings me to my next point about the film. One of the most complex characters in there shares your name.
Really?
Max, Uncle Max.
Uncle Max.
Not really the kid's uncle.
Okay.
He's just a really good friend of Captain Von Trapp.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little bit of a he's this is I'm not saying you. This is Uncle Max. He schemes. He's a schemer. He's a schemer. He's very he's interested in finances, interested in money, but he's complex. Like, you're not really sure the whole movie, like, if he's a good guy or if he's a bad guy.
Kind of morally
selfish.
Gray,
But he ends up helping the Von Trapps at the end escape the Nazis because they're trying to take Captain.
Yeah.
They're basically forcing him, you got to be our naval captain.
Right.
They help him escape at the end. I'm probably giving away this.
Spoiler. It's a 6-year-old movie if you haven't seen it.
It's a 60. If you haven't seen it by now, then I don't know what to tell you.
Spoiler
But yes, but he's a little bit of a complex character, Uncle Max. And so I was thinking about you as and the kids, they love Max. The kids love Max. But I think the captain is sort of, he's like, Max, keeps him at an arm's length.
Trust him as far as I can throw him.
Keeps him at an arm's length. He likes being around the because the captain has cash. He also likes being around Baroness Schrader, who's another complex character.
Do you think that's part of the reason why this has this enduring legacy? Is that they have all these complex, layered characters in this movie?
And I was just talking about that with my mom yesterday. It's a movie where, as a kid, you can get really into the songs and you could really, but then you watch it as an adult and there's all these different layers to it, and there's all the, like I said, political undertones, societal undertones.
Yeah, you were mentioning when you watched it as a kid, you didn't remember necessarily all the political undertones, and kind of like the Nazi stuff and all that kind of stuff. Being, like, that wasn't at the forefront of your mind. The songs were.
Correct. Right. And the older you get, the more like you kind of realize, you kind of start to pick up on things.
And you appreciate the cinematography a little bit more. Yeah.
Director Robert Wise. You cannot say enough about it. the cinematography, just the lighting and the costumes.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, and we were talking about this yesterday, and this is the golden age. You want to watch golden age of Hollywood? Hooray for Hollywood! This is the Sound of Music for real. Just the sets and the everything, and just the costumes, and it feels big, and it feels like when back in 1965, if you went to go see this in theater, like that would have been a big deal. Obviously, you got to think about what was going on in the United States in 1965.
For sure.
Different sort of climate, as well.
Yeah.
This was, I would say, for a certain subsect of America, and now hopefully later most of America.
Yeah.
This would have been a really big film for a certain number of people.
Absolutely.
In the United States,
I believe at the time it set the record for the highest grossing film domestically, the highest grossing film of all time. And I think still to this day, because now obviously you have all these different Marvel movies and franchises and whatnot, but when you adjust for inflation, I believe it's still top 5 in box office gross for domestic movies in history. So it was a gigantic deal when it came out, and it remains to be a gigantic deal today.
Yeah, and you know who the distributing studio was of this? Was 21st Century Fox.
No way!
So they're still our bosses.
Right.
They're still making cash off the Sound of Music.
Yeah,
Even today, a lot of it, props to them. A lot of it was filmed in Austria, but a lot of it was filmed right in Studio City, California, at the Fox lot, like on location. Like it's really, really, really cool. I've never done a tour of the Fox lot out in Southern California, but I bet that you could probably go to the stage where they filmed a lot of the scenes
I would assume they've commemorated it, and they've made a whole tour out of this because it's, I mean, like you said, this is one of the most iconic films in not just in U.S. history, in all of film history. Some of the most iconic shots. Obviously, we mentioned it earlier, that shot of Julie, I believe that's Julie Andrews, kind of frolicking in front of the mountain. That might be the most iconic shot in film history. It could be argued. And just like we talked about before, just the way the colors popped off the screen and everything's so digital now, and it doesn't necessarily have that same kind of saturation. It just has that look, like you said. It has that feel of being a feeling intimate but grand at the same time, which is very hard to pull off.
It is. But they sure did pull it off. And I found myself just as captivated watching it solo as a 33-year-old on his Minneapolis couch as I did when I was a kid watching it with my mom and my sister and my dad. It really, really, really is a good film. So, like I said, turning 60 years old this year. 60 years old.
That's
if you
incredible.
haven't gone to see the Sound of Music,
know you've inspired me. I want to go see it now. I do. That makes sense because sometimes now these days, the movie theaters, they like to show the older movies when there's a big anniversary, and they were playing the Sound of Music just a couple of months ago in the theater, and I was wondering why that was going on. I thought maybe people wanted to watch the Sound of Music. Maybe it was I don't know if it was a seasonal thing or what the hell was going on, but it turns out 60 years old.
60 years.
I definitely got to go check it out. What streaming service is that? Oh, you recorded?
Oh, I had it on. I recorded on my DVR.
Okay,
but it's so old school. In the middle of the movie, they literally come up with it like there's an intermission page that comes in. And that's like it's old school.
Real old
school. Old school.
Bring those back, by the way. Some of these movies are too freaking long these days.
Yes. So I almost want Grace. You ever seen The Sound of Music? You've seen this movie.
Oh, I'd watched it as a kid over and over and over again. I was just telling Paul, I love Julie Andrews. Like she is probably, if I could sit down and have dinner with anybody, amazing. Like
she's still with us?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, and I love Mary Poppins, but The Sound of Music, it's
Princess Diaries.
Princess Diaries.
Amazing film.
Fantastic movie.
Like she just banger after banger, Julie Andrews. So I love The Sound of Music. The music is just iconic. And my little sister was actually just in The Sound of Music, like for her high school production. I could not remember which kid she was, but she was one of the young ones because she's shorter than me, believe it or not.
Louisa.
Maybe. But and they actually, I know we talked earlier. They had Marta, who lives in Minnesota now. She came and she spoke with the cast of
cool.
the production. So. Yeah.
We gotta find. I'm gonna start digging into this. We gotta find a way to bring Debbie Turner. That's the actress. We gotta bring her on the afternoon show.
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, what a testament to the enduring legacy of The Sound of Music. The fact that Grace, Gen Z, 23 years old, and still freaking grew up watching The Sound of Music. That's incredible.
Yes. So this is not a 6'7" fro. This is a full
fro.
This is a full fro.
100% fro. 200% fro. The biggest fro, a Randy Moss afro.
The biggest one.
The blown out afro.
And it always will be. It'll be around long after we're gone. I'm confident people will still be watching The Sound of Music, Rodgers and Hammerstein. I mean, they did the music. I mean, come on. Like, this is like,
iconic.
These are names, you know? So it's just like, it really was a lot of fun by myself, watching this and really geeking out over The Sound of Music. I found myself singing on the couch, and it's just like, it's incredible. Totally sober. Like, I'm just watching The Sound of Music. It's unbelievable. Really was.
I would pay real American dollars for a live stream of you watching The Sound of Music and just seeing you get hyped, because it's awesome to see how a guy that's notorious throughout this long tenure of the afternoon shift for not seeing pretty much any movie.
Yeah.
How passionate you are about The Sound of Music. I love seeing it.
Yes, and I love fresh tomatoes.
Yes, absolutely. We need to find a way to. You need to regularly watch an old movie. You're in charge of the retro Fromatos.
All right, I'm down for that.
Retro Fromatos.
I'm down for that.
Is your duty from here on out.
I'm down for that. I appreciate
that.
Yeah, I
absolutely.
Appreciate that. I appreciate.
I'm super excited.
We have more to come from the afternoon shift after this. All about Minnesota's new hemp laws. Don't go anywhere. We're just rolling here in the 4 o'clock hour. Back here on the afternoon shift, hemp laws, they're part of the government shutdown somehow now.
Yeah, I don't know how they snuck that in there. There's a big hater somewhere in the mix that snuck that in there, but apparently there's some big news that could impact hemp industry people all around the country, especially here in the Twin Cities.
That's right. One of these people that knows all about this is Indeed Brewing Company's Chief Business Officer, Ryan Bandy. Ryan, welcome to the afternoon shift. How are you? Ryan, we cannot hear you. We see your face, but we cannot hear you. Yeah, Ryan, are you with us now?
I think so.
There we go.
Maybe.
Yes.
Sweet.
We gotcha.
The government was trying to mute the information.
Yeah. The haters coming at me.
Ryan, what's in the fine print of this government shutdown deal that's going to impact businesses like Indeed?
Oh man, it's a nightmare. It's kind of so they took the Farm Bill, which kind of had this call out for hemp-derived THC that it could be done federally, and then Minnesota obviously turned into, we have a really solid kind of basis of regulation and laws here that have worked, but they're taking it back from the federal side, so they're getting rid of basically any allowance of hemp-derived THC in beverages or edibles or anything. And so at the federal Farm Bill level, it's kind of getting rid of words that were in there. So they're changing a whole kind of little structure that was able to spawn a huge industry. And now it looks like they're going to take it away, or they're doing their best.
This seems odd to me just from the outside looking in, because it seems like small potatoes compared to a bunch of the other stuff that's on the government's plate. Why was there an explanation given for why they included this in the talks?
So I don't know. I mean, the general why they wanted to kind of like help regulate it is because there are kind of a fair amount of bad actors that are kind of doing, stuff you can buy online, and they're not age gated, and so it's not going through the proper channels, and so the kids, and so to speak, are getting their hands on stuff, and so that was the reason, or the larger kind of strategy that they were saying they needed to fix. Why is it a part of this government shutdown? I have no idea. I mean, some people are saying it's because by itself it might not have enough support to pass, but obviously people want the government to be back online, and so it's an easier kind of way to get it across some of the could be a fairly contentious issue if it wasn't tied into the government shutdown. But I cannot confirm nor deny that. I'm just a brewery guy in Minneapolis.
You're not just a brewery guy in Minneapolis. You run one of the biggest brewing companies in the whole state. How many people are coming to Indeed for those THC beverages instead of beer? I
mean, so our tap room, ever since we started it, it's a good 20-30%, right? I always say there's 1 in 4 people in a group of 4. There's one that doesn't really want to drink beer. And that's just data. Like, that's just kind of how it works. And so when they come to the brewery, maybe they used to be drinking a seltzer, maybe they used to be drinking a kombucha or something. And now they have a really good offer of being able to drink this THC stuff. So it's definitely been a thing that people have. It's a huge demand. People drink this stuff in liquor stores. They're buying it all over the state, all over the country now. It's been a huge demand, and I think it's shown how many people really want a alternative to beer. And that's not even necessarily for good, it's just like for that night or for that week, they might be kind of going that way rather than beer. And as a brewery like that wants to be there for everyone, like it's awesome. It's a wonderful thing for us to be able to have some products that, it's maybe the people don't want to drink beer that night, but give them something that is something they can be a part of the group with.
It feels like it's just finally, it's been steadily uptick in being embraced around the Twin Cities, and now I'm kind of seeing it everywhere. So this seems like terrible timing. You mentioned it earlier. This is an absolute nightmare. Just how catastrophic would this be if this deal goes through to the hemp industry?
Yeah, it's catastrophic. Man, it's like I'm having flashbacks to COVID times, right, where this stuff was going down, and you're like, oh man, we got to get in a room. We got to figure out like, we have a different business model now, or we got to make sure that we protect kind of what we have, or how do we unwind some of that stuff? I think it's close to $1 billion industry nationwide. So, in the state of Minnesota, every brewery is making this. Every brewery has been able to learn how to make these things and create their own brands and create their own experiences with it. It's a massive deal for breweries, wholesalers, and retailers, right? Like, if it goes away in liquor stores, they're not going to have this stuff anymore if it's federally illegal. And so it's a pretty big deal. I'm not one for saying the sky is falling necessarily. As a beer guy, I'm kind of like, let's have a beer, let's figure it out. We can probably problem solve. But this one is certainly, it's definitely made everyone look inward and try to figure out how we're going to deal with this and how we're going to fix it is the goal.
Ryan, I was reading, these laws, it would make the max amount of THC that you could have in a beverage to be 0.4. Can you just give the people at home some perspective? Drinking a beverage with 0.4 THC, that's like drinking a decaf coffee with basically no caffeine. That's like not even a decaf coffee, right? What's the normal amount of THC in a beverage?
It's 5 to 10 milligrams, I would say. It's kind of what average. We have a 2 milligram out there, but I would say 5 to 10 is the normal amount. No, 0.4 is, it's an NA beer, right? If you think about it that way, it's functionally not. It's just an NA seltzer at that point. And so the whole concept of hemp-derived THC being in the beverage is not at that level. It's not really. It's not a drink that we would make or that anyone would want to drink.
Sprite, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Which I like Sprite. I'm a Sprite guy, but it's not what I want when I want my THC.
Right. And does this deal affect just the hemp industry at large? Is it specifically targeted at THC beverages, or kind of what are some of the other uses of hemp that this could affect as well?
So there are definitely gummies out there that people are making, the hemp-derived gummies, and you'll see those around. People are making all types of products with the hemp-derived THC. I think the major effect at a level that most people would understand is going to be the gummies. It's going to be the drinks. Those are the things that are the widely kind of, like you said, like it's been a few years and it's slowly grown, and those are the ones that are going to have the biggest impact. From businesses, to everyone working on Indeed, to working at wholesalers, working at retailers, and all the people that want to be able to buy and drink this type of stuff. It's going to be the drinks and the gummies that are the biggest impact. But that's just the end user, right? The end retailer, and the end we make it. You have farmers that are making growing the hemp. This is going to be a massive impact on all of those and all the people that are kind of processing and manufacturing this stuff. It'll be a massive impact all the way from seed to glass, so to speak.
Ryan, what's the Minnesota Office of Cannabis Management? What do they have to say about all this?
I don't know yet. I think it's so fast. This has been moving so fast. It went from couple weeks ago, oh man, they might be trying to put this in there, to oh crap, they're actually doing that. And then last night, oh, they actually passed it. Rand Paul kind of put together an amendment that he was hoping to put together, and no one kind of took it up. And so it's moving fast. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see the Office of Cannabis Management. They obviously have a structure for the regulated cannabis, and then also this hemp-derived low potency stuff. And so it'll be interesting to see where that comes. Is there a low potency hemp derived market? where it's going now, if the law stays this way, there won't really be one. So OCM will just kind of be regulating the regulated cannabis space. Now, we have a year, so that is one thing that, like, I guess we'll see exactly when the vote happens tonight. But there's a good chance we're going to have a year wind down. And in that year, hopefully we can figure something out on the legislative side, right? So that will be our job as an industry and as consumers and retailers to figure out, like, hey, let's put together a bill that will work before this officially has to go away.
Yeah, just kind of piggybacking off of that, like, what is there anything the state can do to intervene, or once it's said and done at the federal level, there's nothing really that Minnesota can do?
So yeah, it's complicated. I think the thing that changes at the federal level is that businesses can't really operate, or it's very hard for businesses to operate creating and selling something that is federally illegal. The state could say it's legal, like cannabis, but you can't get banks, or it's very hard to get banks, to cover, like, if we're making an illegal product. Like insurance, you can't really get insurance for federally illegal products, stuff like that. That's what makes the industry so tough if it's moved to the federally illegal side of things. It's very hard to run a business, even if the state says it's legal. It's just a lot of barriers to be able to manufacture or sell or create these types of products that if they're illegal on a federal level.
Ryan, where can people, kind of learn more about Indeed and go try the THC beverages, at least while they last for now? Where can they get them?
Yeah, you can get them at your local liquor store. Definitely come down to the brewery. We have them for sale there. There's a good chance with this year that we'll be able to work something out, right? So I think that's one of the things that, to me, hopefully we have this year and we can come together as an industry nationwide, and whether that's make a little tweak to the law or maybe it's a different bill. It's definitely not a foregone conclusion that it's gone. It's definitely worth raising the flags about, and definitely go and buy these products. That's one way to continue to support this industry, and it gives us proof as a brewery and as an industry that it works, right? And people want it. So go to the local liquor store, go to your, definitely come down to Indeed in Northeast Minneapolis and pick up some THC. And we're going to fight for the next year to hopefully, make sure these things can stay in front of you guys.
Well, keep your hopes, spirit, and yourself high, Ryan.
You got it. Don't tell me twice.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yep.
This is a big story. This is like a huge,
absolutely.
He was talking about $1 billion industry
flying under the radar, because again, there's so many different things under this government shutdown umbrella. We've been talking about it for weeks now. All the different areas of life that it's affecting, from air traffic control and people trying to catch flights to people just trying to go to their local brewery and have a little THC bevy.
I know. I've never had one of those before.
Really?
Nope. I know you.
My friend maxx-fuller.
Yes.
I'm maxx-fuller.
Right.
My really good friend maxx-fuller.
That's right.
Not to be confused. He loves the THC beverages. Not me.
Yes.
I've never tried them.
Yes.
I'm not into that kind of
You're
stuff.
not.
I'm not into that kind of stuff.
So I was going to ask you.
I'm straight edge.
One.
I'm straight edge. Curly hair, but straight edge. You know what I'm saying? But maxx-fuller loves them, and I got lots of friends like maxx-fuller. And he's 100%. Ryan's 100% right. A lot of people. I have friends that are not alcohol consumers, beer drinkers, that are going out more and going to restaurants more, going to bars more, because these THC beverages are more widely available. I mean, we did a story about it a couple weeks ago. Target is selling these THC beverages now, so they're being more widely accepted by everybody, except apparently the federal government.
Yeah, it's crazy. I almost wonder what happens to some of these cannabis shops that have opened up in the state of Minnesota. Does this bill affect?
I don't think it affects them. I think it's specifically about hemp.
Yeah,
I think the cannabis shops are okay for now, but who knows? I mean, maybe that'll be included in the next government shutdown deal. They're sneaking everything into there.
Yeah. What the crazy thing to me about this all is that this whole THC, this is the most bipartisan of bipartisan things. Democrats and Republicans, everybody likes these THC beverages. There's Democrats and Republicans going to Indeed and drinking their THC beverages.
Right, exactly. So it's like, hello, we're in a tough market right now, a tough economy.
Yeah.
This is generating a ton of money.
Yeah.
Why would you want to interfere with that? And again, not just the beverages, everything under the hemp umbrella, I should say. I combined the two words right there.
Yes.
Humbrella.
Yes.
The hemp umbrella right there. It's $1 billion billion-dollar industry, man. There's a lot of stuff that this stuff is being used for. So it's unfortunate. And you'd think bipartisan, everybody loves money. So get it figured out.
Everybody does love money. Yes, we'll have more of the latest on this on the afternoon shift as the story develops. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to replay a conversation we had for Camo for a Cause. It's a big Fox initiative.
Yeah.
This conversation happened last Friday with a leader from there. We're going to replay that convo back. It was a good conversation with them.
For sure. Hopefully, I don't accidentally say hump in that interview.
Yes, I think you're good. More to come from the afternoon shift after this. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. Today is Veterans Day. We started off by talking to a Vietnam War vet, and we're going to continue our commemoration of the day today.
Absolutely, and that was an amazing conversation with Len Erickson. Props to him for sharing his story with us, and also the Camo for a Cause. Lenny?
Yes, Larry D. Williams.
Larry, I was close.
He was an Army veteran himself.
Yes.
He's also the VP of programs at U.S. Vets. This is a big Fox initiative. Make Camo your cause. And we talked to Mr. Williams last week, and we want to replay that interview. Here it is. Mr. Williams, welcome to the afternoon shift.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you and your service to our country. Can you tell us about your time in the Army? Where did you do some of your tours?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm a veteran from way back. I joined the Army in 1985 and got out in 1989. So I don't know how many years ago that was, but you can do the math. And it was actually, I had a great time. I got to be honest. When I went into the military, I was 17. My first duty station was Korea. First tank, shout out to all veterans out there, and shout out to all Army veterans who were in Korea. And so first tank was my first duty station. We were in South Korea defending the border. And then my second term, and that's right, ETS, was at Fort Hood. And my military experience taught me a lot, helped me to mature when going in at 17 and coming out with a family, a wife, and children. So it was great, yet coming out of the military, we definitely had some challenges to overcome trying to assimilate into the civilian world. But my military experience was wonderful. Thank you for asking about that.
Larry, now obviously you're here to talk about the Make Camo Your Cause campaign. How did this whole campaign get started?
Oh, U.S. Vets, the nation's largest, we are the nation's largest nonprofit organization. And our mission is to prevent and end veterans' homelessness. And so Make Camo Your Cause was launched to actually raise awareness. We want it to become the national symbol for acknowledging veteran services. We want Camo to become a national signal for gratitude for veterans. And so U.S. Vets launched the campaign, Make Camo Your Cause. And we realized that on Veterans Day, we celebrate veterans across the nation. Yet at U.S. Vets, every day is Veterans Day. But we're asking all to wear camo on Veterans Day. Showcase your camo. Please take pictures. You see this tie right here. This is a nice camo tie. I even have a camo hat that I'm going to put on my head that's on our website. It's actually a nice hat too. But we're trying to make camo the nation's symbol for veterans' gratitude. So on Veterans Day, when we're out with our families, we're having parties, barbecues, we're at events, we're speaking, our local leaders, politicians, news anchors, people in the community, Minnesota, when Veterans Day coming, we're out in the community, wear your camo, take pictures, and post them. Hashtag honor US Vets. And what we're hoping for, we are hoping for a blanket of camouflage across the nation, showing our veterans, telling our veterans how much we appreciate them, how much we adore them. Thank you for your service. Where would we be as a nation today if it were not for the veterans who served yesterday, right? So Make Camo Your Cause is all about raising awareness and showing veterans our gratitude. And I'm hoping that we see a lot of posts. Remember, hashtag honor US vets. And please go to our website and purchase some camo off of our store. Like I mentioned earlier, we have some great camo swag, and I'm wearing a few pieces now, my hat and my tie. And guys, thank you for allowing me to spread a little awareness about US vets and our Make Camo campaign cause. Thank you.
No doubt, Larry. No doubt. What impact have you seen firsthand from the organization? How is it helping to end veteran homelessness?
Great question. US vets, our staff, we have great staff. We've been around for 35 years, and our staff show up every day. They put their boots on, and we go to war. And that's how we look at homelessness. We go to battle trying to end it. But what progress have we seen? Well, when I first started in this field 20 years ago with US vets, there was probably about 250,000 homeless veterans on the streets of the nation. I'm not sure the exact number. Today, there is 33,000 homeless veterans on the streets of the nation, and that showed great progress. And as a nation, we really collaborated. We did our best to address NIMBYism, not in my backyard, because it is in our backyard. It's on our front streets. It's downtown. It's everywhere, and it's something that we're trying to eradicate. With those numbers now being at 33,000, we are finding that mental health, behavior health is in need. We are finding that permanent housing. We are definitely trying to increase our permanent housing inventory, and we're getting into the prevention, because we are going to solve homelessness, and that 33,000 is going to come down. But what we want to do is get in front of it so it never has to occur. US Vets believes a veteran, no person who spent any amount of time defending these streets, this great nation, and then come home and have to sleep on them. So we are steadfast on our mission to eradicate homelessness. We are pouring into prevention. We will have prevention models all over the nation. And what will our prevention models do? Hopefully help our military service members and their families with any issues that may be occurring, mitigating those, solving those, removing those, helping them to overcome their challenges, so that we don't have growing numbers on the back end. Because now that those homeless numbers are growing down, we want them to stay down. But if we don't get on the prevention side, then those numbers are going to continue to go back up, right? Or we'll be kind of stagnant, because there is a need for prevention, and that's where our focus is. After we solved it, we don't even want it to come back ever.
I love the confidence right there. We are going to solve it. We could just feel the passion and commitment to solving this issue just brimming through the screen. So we appreciate all the work that you guys are doing. Why is it that so many of our servicemen and women out there find themselves faced with homelessness here in the United States?
That's a great question. And we at US Vets, we realize that homelessness is real, and I don't want my answer to get misunderstood. There's a lot of core issues that go on prior to one becoming homeless. The healing is the key, but it takes time to get to the healing. So you asked, what happens? How does homelessness happen? Lack of affordable housing. Poverty. The cost of living is very high, and when you're in the military, things are a little different. And so, picture this now: veteran goes into the like myself, 17 years old, going to the military, and promises are made. Hey, you're gonna go in, you're gonna serve your country, and Larry, when you come out, don't worry about it, because you're gonna get a job. You got lifetime medical and housing benefits. And yes, we do have all of that. Yet though, sometimes things happen and challenges occur. Military skill sets sometimes are not understood by civilian employees and by civilian employers, excuse me. So we have to translate that. Can you imagine a military person being in the military for 4, 6, 8, 10 years, operating $20 million equipment, airplanes, tanks? These guys are logistical giants, and they come out the military, and it's hard for them to get a job because the person they're interviewing with doesn't understand the military skill set, right? And there's another piece to this. We also have to educate the veteran on how to communicate what he's done in the military and make it translate over into the civilian side. So one, employment skills, transferring those over. Sometimes trauma occurs, and that's real. Unfortunately, it changes people. And when they come back, sometimes they're not the same as they left. They're different. And life happens. And our job at US Vets is to be there when they come home. Keep the light on. Those guys dedicated their lives to serving this great nation. They've served us. Now it's our time, our opportunity, our privilege and honor to serve them. So you asked what leads to homelessness. Well, many different things can lead to homelessness. Mental health, substance use, lack of affordable housing, poverty, skill set not translating over, and then it just compounds. And then before you know it, you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance with housing. And again, US Vets is trying to get in front of that. We want to set up our prevention hubs that will provide mental health counseling, that will provide employment training and opportunity and access, that will provide not just treatment for or assistance for the veteran, but for the family members as well, because it's not just an individual issue. It's a whole family dynamic that we're trying to assist. So we're really pouring into the prevention because we not only want to eradicate homelessness, but again, we're doing our best to ensure that veterans don't even have to go down that line. We want to stop it on the front end. Prevention is the way to go.
Well said there, Larry. Where can people learn more and donate to the Make Camo Your Cause campaign?
Make Camo Your Cause. Go to usvets.org. Please, usvets.org. Check out our camo shop. And again, on 11/11, Veterans Day, take your pictures. Take your pictures of your swag, post them, hashtag honor US Vets. I see on the screen here, go.fox/US Vets. By the way, let me pause for the cause for a second. We so appreciate Fox at US Vets. Thank you, guys. You guys are a great partner. You have helped us to raise awareness across the nation. You have adopted us as a partner. And our Camo to Cause campaign is as successful as it is because of the collaboration we have with you guys at Fox. So thank you. I really appreciate you.
That was very nice of Larry to say that.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
It came from the heart.
It did come from the heart. It's a very good organization. Go.fox/US Vets to donate there. You can also, in addition to donating money, just thank a veteran today for their service.
For sure. We heard about it earlier. You never know how it could impact somebody's day.
That's
so
right.
Just go up and say thank you. Say what up. Dap them up.
That's right.
Give them a high five. Give them a hug. Ask first. You don't want to scare anybody.
That's
right.
But
just do something nice for a veteran today.
Absolutely.
Or any day, but specifically today.
Absolutely. We will be back on the afternoon shift to round out today's episode right after this. Back on the afternoon shift. We are rounding out today's Tuesday episode.
We've done it all on the afternoon shift as we tend to do. We've done everything from Nam to the Northern Lights.
Oof, yes.
And everything in between, Mr. Llorens.
Yes. Yeah, we sure have. We've done everything from now I'm on the spot. I'm on the spot. Oh God, goodness. What's the group? What's the Doja Cat or whoever's coming to
Cat's Eye.
Cat's Eye. Yeah,
Cat's Eye.
We've done from
it's not clicking.
No,
it's not happening. Cat's Eye to cancellations.
To cancellations. That's
there we
right.
go.
That's
the
right.
Northstar rail canceled.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Yes.
We've done Maria to Make Camo Your Cause.
There we go.
I tried. That
there
wasn't
we go.
so
It wasn't.
great.
But
so
you
great.
got the M's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what was that, Grace? You got one?
Go ahead, Grace.
Oh, just cat's eye to cannabis.
Cat's eye to cannabis.
There we go.
There we go. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Isn't Doja Cat? That's a thing, right?
Yeah,
That's
Doja Cat. That's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing than cat's eye?
A whole different thing, yeah.
Okay.
Doja Cat is a black woman. She's not
okay.
a Korean pop artist.
What does she sing?
Yeah.
Doja
she
Cat.
does like, I bet you say so.
Oh.
Or you ever hear Moo?
Moo?
Oh, that's how she got viral.
The song is called Moo?
Yes.
Oh, that song is a banger.
It's a banger.
I forgot about
It's
Moo.
a banger. I'm not, because Doja Cat's been around. I'm not going to, like, my very first time I ever did radio anything, 2012.
Yeah.
I played some Doja Cat off of SoundCloud.
No
Nobody
way.
had any idea who the hell she was. And I followed her for a long time. I thought she was great. I never, obviously, nobody could see that she was going to become like this pop sensation, right? And then a couple years go by, she kind of is just like meandering, making SoundCloud type music. And then she comes out with this song, this kind of joke. I guess you can't even say it's satire. She kind of just did it just for the Blape event. She just made this song that's very catchy, and she's just kind of like, and it's like, I'm a cow, I'm a cow, moo. And obviously she's not saying she's saying a different word,
Gotcha.
you know, and it's just like moo. And then there's like a whole music video to it and everything. And this song went viral because obviously it's goofy, it's a joke, but you could see her talent. You could see her writing talent, and you could see that she's really good at singing. It just happened to be a goofy joke song about a cow. And then she kind of blew up from there.
Wow.
And then she had multiple songs that took over. She had a couple of scandals that obviously always boost the profile.
Sure,
She was being weird in chat rooms back in the day. Saying weird things.
Yeah.
And that kind of boosts her profile too. And I mean, she's a gorgeous woman. Doja Cat, if you're watching this, at the Max Show on Instagram, if you want to holla at me or just come on the show for interview, or come to my house for an interview. Either way, but she's incredible.
You could do a solo one-on-one with her, one-on-one interview with her. I'll leave the studio. Yes,
please do. Yeah, I would love that.
She could sit in this chair.
Yes,
yes.
She could sit in this chair too. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, wherever she wants to sit.
Yes.
Yeah, she could sit there. But Doja Cat, that's
Doja Cat.
That's a whole
Not
different
Cat's Eye.
can of worms.
Yes.
Cat's Eyes. Korean pop group. I wish paul-millgate was cutting up the show. He's an expert. He watched a whole freaking documentary on
Cat's Eye.
Yeah, he was riveted. He was moved to tears in our studio.
Wow.
Earlier when we were doing, I was like, Paul, so what do you think about Cat's Eye? And he was just like,
oh, wow,
mate. I'm gobsmacked, mate. I'm gobsmacked, mate. And then he just started saying a whole bunch of other Aussie phrases that I don't even know. I don't know what the hell that's talking about, but I think he was pretty emotional about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's strong. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Cat's Eye. They're
Cat's
coming
Eye.
to the armory. All right.
They're coming to the armory.
They're coming.
And K-pop is coming out to a country near you if it hasn't already got there. And I bet it's already got there because it's this gigantic global phenomenon and it just keeps growing. It's a beast that's not going to stop anytime
Sounds
soon.
like a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of traffic.
There's definitely going to be a lot of traffic around the armory. Hopefully there's a lot of internet traffic coming towards the afternoon shift and the 5 o'clock news, which is just about to start here in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, we've got a YouTube page. We got an Instagram account. We're hoping to drive up some traffic there. And if you don't want to watch it on YouTube or Instagram, you can just watch us organically tomorrow.
Right, on the Fox 9 local app. And me and you are about to go hop in traffic because we're done for the day. The 5 o'clock news starts next. Who's on the desk?
Simone and Kelsey.
Simone and Kelsey, the best of the best. Signing off for the afternoon shift. I'm Max-Fuller. He's Adam-llorens, and the 5 o'clock news starts now.